Raise your hand if you've ever felt like you didn't belong. Me too. I used to think belonging was like this coin. Before I flip it, quantum physics tells us that it exists in what's called superposition. So it's both heads and tails simultaneously. But the moment I look, reality collapses into a single truth. For years, I lived suspended in my own superposition, stuck on the edge of belonging, not heads enough here, not tails enough there, hovering in a place between possibilities, until I learned to hack the flip. What if I told you that quantum physics, the same science that governs particles and possibilities, holds the key to engineering your own belonging? My journey began with the simple yet profound question: where do I belong? Little did I know, this question would unlock a series of unlikely connections that would change my life forever. As a result of asking this question out loud, I found myself connected to some very unlikely allies. A French native who declared my presence in tech a necessity, and also a Mississippi native who not only gave me my first opportunity to work in tech, but gave me the space to hone my skills and to contribute to building systems that my stamp can't be erased from. These encounters taught me that the principles of quantum physics can bridge even the most unlikely of divides. And by embracing the quantum force that surrounds all of us, I discovered that the distance between ourselves and the belonging that we seek can be dramatically reduced. In quantum physics, there's a principle called the observer effect. Simply put, the act of looking changes what you're looking at. Scientists proved that particles literally behave differently when they're being watched. So do people. I knew this lesson long before I knew the science behind it, because when I was 8 years old, I learned that words can try to trap you. Too much, too other. Like forcing you to choose some societal jacket to wear, or like forcing this coin to pick heads or tails in midair. I was taught to choose my own path. So I chose to look at life as a wave function. In quantum physics, a wave function isn't just an equation. It's a map of possibilities. It tells us that a particle isn't just here or there, or in my case, just this or that. It's everything and everywhere it could be all at once. You're not a fixed point in space. You're infinite possibility just waiting to be observed. So to understand how I learned to hack my own observation, I need to tell you about the two women who taught me that belonging, it isn't inherited, it's engineered. 2 generations before me, my grandmother, she existed in her own superposition. She was a domestic worker and house manager for Oral Roberts, one of the most well-known televangelists in the world. She existed in the superposition of authority and invisibility. As a Black domestic worker, society saw her as just simply invisible labor. But in his household, she held hyper-visible authority, commanding staff, gatekeeping access to power. Her life was quantum duality. Both realities true, just depending on who measured. 1 generation before me, my mother helped integrate rural Oklahoma schools. So she didn't march or protest, but her presence was a quantum leap through societal barriers. Her presence collapsed segregation's wave function from never to already done. Today, I stand before you on the backs and shoulders of those 2 women and the ones before them to deliver a secret they left. a secret that quantum physicists are only now beginning to understand. Belonging is not a place, it's a question. And when I finally asked, where do I belong out loud, the universe started answering. Please understand that I'm speaking to you from a position of hindsight. I'm no quantum physicist, but I was at a point in my life where I felt like I could be or do literally anything, but at the same time, I felt like I wasn't anything. And as I searched, I found that Schrodinger's equation mathematically described that strange reality where everything is possible simultaneously. When I asked, where do I belong, I found out the universe is conversational. It answered my question with a question. The universe echoed back, where do you want to be? Here's the quantum secret they don't teach you in school. Your observation is the ultimate in helping you figure out what your desire is. Or I can put it a different way. Your desire is the ultimate observer. Your want has the power to collapse infinite realities into a single truth. So as I searched the corners of my heart, I knew I would like to work in tech, but for me, I encountered what quantum physicists call a potential barrier. It was a college degree. I don't have one of those. And at the time, I didn't have any professional certifications. But see, this is the point where quantum mechanics and my legacy meet. My grandmother's hands scrubbing floors in the preacher's house held a very function of silent power. My mother's footsteps into a segregated classroom collapsed a century of no into yes. Their lives were quantum equations. Legacy is a probability cloud, and courage is the force that collapses it. The universe didn't hand me a map, it handed me a measurement tool. Quantum tunneling states that electrons can walk through walls. So I became a human electron. First, I earned certifications. Each one lowered the barrier. Second, I networked, asked questions, and learned the language. This narrowed that wall I needed to tunnel through. And third, I activated the secret frequency passed down through generations. The ancestral alchemy of hustle and defiance that bends reality. The generational grit that doesn't just break barriers, it disintegrates them. That's how I hacked the flip. This is where quantum mechanics gets wild. This is where the impossible, it just becomes inevitable. In 2019, a man named Chris Holland gave a talk at the Scotland PHP conference called Taming Change. In his talk, he declared war on stagnation and boldly advocated for a shift towards technical rigor, adaptive change management, and also diversity in tech. In 2019, I never met Chris Holland, never heard of him. But 3 years later, I joined his team as a technical systems analyst. This wasn't luck, this was quantum entanglement, the universe's most elegant magic trick. When particles become entangled, they share an invisible thread. Measure one in Tokyo, and its partner in Tulsa reacts instantly. No lag, no delay, just pure connection. In 2019, Chris Holland dropped these words into the cosmic pool. We fear change because we build change-resistant systems. Those ripples spread. 3 years later, I was swimming in those same waters. Every certification earned, every network built, every wall tunneled through was tuning my frequency to exactly that way. When I finally asked, where do I belong? Something extraordinary happened. I didn't just collapse one future into reality. I synchronized with an entire constellation of possibilities. Past generations who encoded courage into my DNA, distant collaborators whose vision harmonized with my hunger, and hidden doorways waiting for someone with the right frequency to unlock the door. Physicist Richard Feynman discovered that light takes every possible path to reach its destination. So do you. Every skill, every connection, every brave choice you make creates quantum pathways where breakthrough becomes inevitable. And with that being said, I'd like to remind you all that belonging isn't about finding your place. It's about observing your power to choose it. Thank you.